The United States Naval Academy is a four-year coeducational federal service academy located in Annapolis, Maryland, United States. Established in 1845 under Secretary of the Navy George Bancroft, it is the second oldest of the United States' five service academies, and educates officers for commissioning primarily into the United States Navy and United States Marine Corps. The 338-acre campus is located on the former grounds of Fort Severn at the confluence of the Severn River in Chesapeake Bay in Anne Arundel County, 33 miles east of Washington, D.C., and 26 miles southeast of Baltimore. The entire campus is a National Historic Landmark and home to many historic sites, buildings, and monuments. It replaced Philadelphia Naval Asylum, in Philadelphia, that served as the first United States Naval Academy from 1838 to 1845 when the Naval Academy formed in Annapolis. Candidates for admission generally must both apply directly to the Academy and receive a nomination, usually from a member of Congress. Students are officers in training and are referred to as midshipmen. Tuition for midshipmen is fully funded by the Navy in exchange for an active duty service obligation upon graduation. Approximately 1,300 plebes enter the Academy each summer for the rigorous plebe summer, but only about 1,000 midshipmen graduate. Graduates are usually commissioned as ensigns in the Navy or second lieutenants in the Marine Corps, but a small number can also be commissioned as officers in other U.S. services, and the services of allied nations. The United States Naval Academy has some of the highest paid graduates in the country according to starting salary. The academic program grants a Bachelor of Science degree with a curriculum that grades midshipmen's performance upon a broad academic program. Military leadership performance, and mandatory participation in competitive athletics. Midshipmen are required to adhere to the Academy's honor concept. Description: the United States Naval Academy's campus is located in Annapolis, Maryland, at the confluence of the Severn River and the Chesapeake Bay. In its most recent report, the 2012 edition of U.S. News & World Report ranked the U.S. Naval Academy as the No. 1 public liberal arts college in the nation, tied for first with the U.S. Military Academy. In the category of high school counselor rankings of national liberal arts colleges, the Naval Academy is also tied for No. 1 with the U.S. Military Academy and the U.S. Air Force Academy. It also holds the No. 5 spot with the U.S. Air Force Academy for best undergraduate engineering programs. In the same year, Forbes ranked the U.S. Naval Academy as No. 17 overall in nation in its report, America's Top Colleges 2011. Prospective candidates must be first nominated by a U.S. congressman, senator, the vice president, or the president, or be the child of a Medal of Honor recipient. This nomination typically involves an interview with that specific nominating body and/or retired officers within the same jurisdiction. Candidates must also pass a physical fitness test and a thorough medical exam as part of the application process. In the 21st century, there have been about 1,200 students in each new class of plebis. The U.S. government pays for tuition, room and board. Midshipmen receive monthly pay of $1,017 as of 2015. From this amount, pay is automatically deducted for the cost of uniforms, books, supplies, services, and other miscellaneous expenses. Midshipmen only receive a portion of their total pay in cash while the rest is released during first year. Midshipmen 4th class to midshipmen 2nd class receive monthly stipends of $100, $200, $300, respectively. Midshipmen 1st class receive the difference between pay and outstanding expenses. Students at the Naval Academy are addressed as midshipmen, an official military rank and pay grade, as midshipmen are actually in the United States Navy. starting from the moment that they raise their hands and affirm the oath of office at the swearing-in ceremony. They are subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice, of which USNA regulations are a part, as well as to all executive policies and orders formulated by the Department of the Navy. The same term comprises both males and females. Upon graduation, most Naval Academy midshipmen are commissioned as ensigns in the Navy or second lieutenants in the Marine Corps and serve a minimum of 5 years. After their commissioning, if they are selected to serve as a pilot, they will serve 8 to 11 years minimum from their date of winging, and if they are selected to serve as a naval flight officer, they will serve 6 to 8 years. Foreign midshipmen are commissioned into the armed forces of their native countries. Since 1959, midshipmen have also been eligible to cross-commission, or request a commission in the Air Force or Army, provided they meet that service's eligibility standards. Starting in 2004, midshipmen also became eligible to see Coast Guard commissions. Every year, a small number of graduates do this, typically 3 or 4, usually in a 1-for-1 trade, with a similarly inclined cadet or midshipman at one of the other service academies. At the beginning of their second-class year, midshipmen make their commitment, also known as signing their 2-for-7. This represents a commitment to finish 2 years at the academy and then an additional 5 years on active duty. Upon graduation, midshipmen are obligated to serve at minimum 5 years of service after graduation. Those selected for postgraduate education will continue concurrently with their commissioning obligation for officers in the U.S. Navy and consecutively for officers in the U.S. Marine Corps. Midshipmen who entered the academy from civilian life and who resign or are separated from the academy in their first 2 years incur no military service obligation. Those who are separated, voluntarily or involuntarily, after that time are required to serve on active duty in an enlisted capacity, usually for 2 to 4 years. Alternatively, separated former midshipmen can reimburse the government for their educational expenses, though the sum is often in excess of $150,000. The decision whether to serve enlisted time or reimburse the government is at the discretion of the Secretary of the Navy. Midshipmen who entered the academy from the enlisted ranks return to their enlisted status to serve the remainder of their enlistment. Other Navy schools. The Navy operates the Naval Postgraduate School and the Naval War College separately. The Naval Academy Preparatory School, in Newport, Rhode Island, is the official prep school for the Naval Academy. The Naval Academy Foundation provides postgraduate high school education for a year of preparatory school before entering the academy for a very limited number of applicants. There are several preparatory schools and junior colleges throughout the United States which host this program.